Welcome to Learn English with Tech Leads with your hosts, Marcus and Sarah. Deconstructing world-class software architecture and engineering culture so you can master professional tech English. Let's dive in.
So imagine you're in a daily stand-up meeting.
Right, a classic scenario.
Yeah, and your director of engineering looks at you, right? And they just ask for a quick update on your team's project.
Happens all the time.
Exactly. And you basically have two ways to answer this.
Okay, what's the first way?
You could say something like, well, we're working on it. There were some blockers with the database, but we're handling them. It should be fine by Friday.
Yeah, that sounds pretty typical.
Right. Or you could say we're at 70%. The blocker was the auth service. We resolved it yesterday, and we're on track for Friday.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that second one feels completely different.
It really does. One of these updates raises alarms. It makes your manager nervous.
Definitely.
But the other one, it builds massive trust and absolute confidence. So welcome to today's deep dive.
Glad to be here.
If you're listening to this right now, you are a senior technical professional. Like, you might be a tech lead or maybe an engineering manager.
Right, you're the expert in your domain.
Exactly. You know exactly what's happening inside your code base at any given moment.
Down to the exact line of code, usually.
Yeah. But today, our mission is to tackle a very specific challenge.
Which is so important for ESL speakers.
It is. We are going to master the art of giving status updates in English to American managers, and we're going to do it without accidentally sounding defensive.
That is the perfect setup, because as a senior developer or, an engineering leader, your technical skills are already elite.
Absolutely. You have the hard skills.
Right. But sometimes translating that technical reality into the cultural expectations of an American manager, it can cause some friction.
Yeah, a lot of friction, actually.
And here's the most important thing to understand right away. It is not about your English vocabulary.
Right, because you probably have a fantastic vocabulary already.
Exactly. It's entirely about the structure of the information you share.
The order of the facts.
Yeah, the order in which you present facts completely changes how competent you appear to leadership.
Makes total sense. And to understand why that second version, the we're at 70% version works so well, we first have to examine a very common cultural instinct.
Yes, the cultural disconnect.
Because our source material points out that this specific instinct trips up a lot of incredibly talented Latin American developers when they start working with US-based companies.
It's a huge shift. Let's look at human nature for a second.
Okay, let's do it.
When something goes wrong in software development or when there's a serious risk to a deadline, the natural instinct in Spanish is to explain the why before the what.
Right. The context first.
Exactly. You want to give the full context first. You want to explain the journey of the problem before you reveal the final status.
Yeah. Our sources show exactly how this sounds in a daily meeting. A developer might say something like, well, last week, the platform team hadn't finished the API contract.
Oh, hold on. Let's pause right there. Let's make sure we define our terms clearly for anyone listening who might just be stepping into technical management.
Oh, right. Good idea.
You just use a great technical term, API contract.
Yes, very common phrase.
So in software architecture, an API contract is simply a formal agreement between two different software systems. It defines exactly how they will communicate with each other.
Right, it's like a menu.
Exactly. It's like a menu at a restaurant. It tells you exactly what you can order and what you will receive.
And if that contract isn't finished, the two teams literally can't connect their code.
Right. So you were saying the developer might blame the API contract not being ready.
Yeah, they might say that and then add, and then there was also a bug in the staging environment that cost us a lot of time.
Okay, another quick pause for a great term. Staging environment.
Ah, yeah.
A staging environment is just a safe testing area that looks and acts exactly like the real live application.
Yeah, it's basically the final checkpoint.
Exactly. It's the final place where you check your code for bugs before real customers actually see it.
Okay, so back to the developer's update. They list these issues, the API contract, the staging bug, and only after saying all of that story do they finally give the actual status of the project.
Right. Which is the exact opposite of what an American manager wants.
Well, wait, I have to push back on this a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
If the API contract wasn't ready and the staging environment had a bug, those are very real, very technical reasons for a delay.
Oh, they are completely valid reasons.
Right. So isn't giving context just being thorough?
Yeah.
Like, as an engineer, you are trained to be precise.
Yeah.
It feels like by putting the excuse first, Developers often bury the lid, meaning they hide the most important information at the very end of their message. But why is that considered such a huge mistake if the information is accurate?
Well, it's a mistake because of how the brain of an American manager works when they are evaluating risk.
Okay, how so?
A manager's primary job is risk management. When they hear the context first, it reads as defensive.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it sounds like you're making excuses before you even state the problem.
Even if the excuse is valid.
It doesn't matter if your explanation is completely valid, technically accurate, and 100% true. The order of your words matters immensely.
So American managers process updates in reverse compared to that natural instinct.
Exactly. They want the final status first, and they only want the context if they explicitly ask for it.
Let's dive deeper into the why behind that, because I think, it helps to understand the psychology.
Yeah, the psychology is fascinating.
When you start with a long story about a database failure, what is actually happening to the manager's brain?
Their cognitive load spikes, their stress levels go up instantly.
Wow, just from hearing the context.
Yeah. While you're explaining the database failure, their brain is racing. They're trying to guess if the whole project is doomed.
They're probably thinking, are we going to miss the deadline? Do I need to call the client? Is the whole system down?
Exactly. And by the time you finally say, but we fixed it, they have already spent 30 seconds feeling anxious and stressed.
Right.
But when you reverse it and give the status first, you relieve that cognitive load immediately.
That is a massive mindset shift. So the actionable takeaway for you listening right now is this. Train yourself to stop starting your updates with explanations.
Yes. The validity of your excuse just doesn't matter. The order does.
Stop telling the story of the problem and start by stating the current reality.
Precisely. Which leads us to the core of the source material.
The framework.
Right. If American managers demand the status first, how exactly do we structure that without sounding, too blunt or too aggressive or unhelpful?
Yeah, you don't want to sound like a robot.
Exactly. So this brings us to a proven three-step framework used by top tech leads all across Silicon Valley. It's called status, signal, next.
Status, signal, next. Okay, let's unpack this framework, starting with step one, which is status.
Status is simply where things stand right now.
Right. And the rule is that it should be exactly one sentence.
One sentence.
You mentally categorize your work as green, yellow, or red.
Green means we're on track for this date.
Okay.
Yellow means we're at risk for this date. And red means we're going to miss the date. The new target is this date.
And the most critical rule here, according to the sources, is that you must eliminate all hedging words. You do not say, I think, or probably, if you have the actual data.
Let's focus on that concept of hedging for a second, because it is a vital piece of native English workplace culture.
Oh, yeah, hedging is a big one.
Hedging means using uncertain words, like probably, maybe, hopefully, or I think, to protect yourself from being wrong.
Which, to be fair, engineers love to hedge because software is just naturally unpredictable.
Oh, absolutely. But in technical leadership, hedging destroys trust.
Really?
Yeah, it makes you sound unsure of your own domain. You need to state the facts clearly.
Okay, no hedging. That takes us to step two in the framework, which is the signal.
Right, the signal. And you only use step two if your status is yellow or red.
Okay, so if it's green, you just stop at step one.
Exactly. But if it's yellow or red, the signal is simply what happened, what you did to fix it, or what is currently blocked.
And the strict rule from our sources is this: maximum 2 sentences.
Keep it super brief.
Yeah, for example, you might say, the delay is due to the database blocker. We resolved it this morning.
Perfect.
And that's it. You literally stop talking.
Let's also quickly define the term blyer, or being blocked on a dependency, since you just used it.
Good call.
In software development, a blocker is anything that stops you from moving forward.
Right, like a literal roadblock.
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, if you're building a checkout page for an e-commerce site, but you are waiting for a third-party payment gateway to give you access to their system, you are blocked on a dependency.
You literally cannot write the next line of code until they act.
Exactly. That is your signal.
But keeping that signal to just 2 sentences, that is incredibly short.
It is.
It's so tempting to offer much more context just to prove you are working hard. When we get nervous, we often serve a word salad, which just means a confusing mess of too many words when we are trying to explain ourselves.
A word salad is the perfect way to describe it.
So why is it better to hold back and let the manager ask for context rather than giving it unprompted? If I have the information, shouldn't I just share it?
Think of it like a pilot talking to air traffic control.
Okay. I like this analogy.
The pilot doesn't tell the tower a long, rambling story about why the wind pushed their plane off course.
Right.
They just report their altitude, heading, and fuel. Why? Because the tower is managing dozens of planes.
And managers are managing dozens of risks.
Exactly. When you give them a 5-minute explanation unprompted, you are giving them extra data they have to process, which causes fatigue.
Ah, cognitive overload again.
Right.
Yeah.
If you simply give them the status in a one-sentence signal, they can easily digest the reality.
And if they actually need to know the deep technical detail of why the database migration failed, they will ask you.
Exactly. And letting them ask puts them in control of the conversation,
Right.
rather than you forcing a technical lecture on them.
That makes a lot of sense. You deliver the bad news clearly, you provide just enough signal, and you stop talking. But wait, if you stop talking there, the manager might still panic, right?
Well, yes, if you leave them hanging.
Right. You just told them the project is delayed, and you only gave them 2 sentences of explanation. How do you prevent them from stressing out and, micromanaging you?
That is exactly where the magic of step 3 comes in.
Step 3.
Step 3 is called next. You must project absolute control by telling them exactly what happens next.
You are showing forward momentum.
You never want to leave a manager wondering what you're doing to solve the problem.
Right. This is the true language of technical leadership.
It really is.
The source material gives a few excellent examples for step 3. You can say, the next step is to update the authentication token by Friday.
Clear and specific.
Or you can say, I'll have a final update for you by 3 p.m.
Also great.
But the most valuable phrase the source text highlights, and this is a phrase you really should memorize, is this one. No action needed from you. I'll keep you posted.
Oh, yes. Let's break down that idiom, I'll keep you posted, because it is everywhere in American tech companies.
It really is.
It is a very natural, professional way to say, I will continue to give you regular updates over time as the situation develops.
Right, like an ongoing status.
Exactly. For a real-world example, imagine you find a critical bug in production. You alert your team in a Slack message.
Okay.
You explain that you are currently investigating the root cause. You can end that Slack message by typing, I'll keep you posted.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, it reassures everyone that you own the problem, and they will hear from you again soon with more information.
Perfect. But wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
If I tell my director of engineering, no action needed from you, aren't they going to think I'm being arrogant?
I get that a lot.
I mean, that sounds a bit like I'm giving my boss an order. It feels almost like I'm saying, hey, stay out of my way.
I completely understand why it feels that way, especially if you come from a corporate culture with very strict formal hierarchies.
Exactly, where you show a lot of deference.
But in American corporate culture, this phrase is actually music to a manager's ears.
Really?
Yeah. You aren't being bossy. You are removing a burden from their plate.
Oh, because they're already so busy.
Managers are incredibly busy and constantly overwhelmed with decisions. When you say no action needed from you, you are really telling them, I own this problem. I am handling the risk.
You don't need to spend your mental energy trying to fix this for me.
Precisely. It establishes you as a highly reliable leader who solves problems instead of just reporting them.
Wow. Okay, so the complete 3-step framework is status, signal, next.
Status, signal, next.
But, theoretical frameworks are only great until you have to write the code.
Very true.
As engineers, we want to see the code compile. Theory is great, but let's see how this actually sounds in the wild.
Let's do it.
We're going to contrast the defensive instinct with the clean 3-step framework using real-world scenarios from our sources.
Let's start with scenario A.
Okay.
The situation is that your team's 2-week sprint is at risk because of a technical blocker.
All right, here is the bad version. This is the version that raises alarms and makes your boss sweat.
Let's hear it.
So there was this issue with the database migrations that we didn't expect. The environment was different from staging. And also the team had some other priorities last week, but I think we can still make it. We're trying.
Oh, man. You can hear how weak and anxiety-inducing that sounds.
It's rough.
It's full of hedging, I think. We're trying.
Yeah.
And it starts with the excuse. It makes the manager feel like you have absolutely no idea if you actually hit the deadline.
Right. Now let's listen to the good version using the framework.
Okay.
We're at risk for Friday. The staging to prod config mismatch cost us a day and a half. Migration is done. We're back on track, but the buffer is gone. I'll have a firm update by Thursday EOD.
That is night and day. It is so confident.
It really is. Before we analyze why that works so well, there is some critical workplace vocabulary in there we really should break down.
Let's do it.
What exactly does buffer and EOD mean in this context?
Well, buffer is a crucial project management term. A buffer is extra time you intentionally save in your schedule for unexpected emergencies.
Like a safety net.
Exactly.
Hmm.
If a task takes 3 days to code, you schedule 4 days. That extra day is your buffer.
Okay, so if you say the buffer is gone, it means there is zero room left for mistakes.
Right. You will hit the deadline, but only if everything goes perfectly.
Makes sense. And EOD.
EOD is simply an acronym for end of day.
Ah, okay.
In American business culture, this usually means 5 p.m. in the time zone of the person speaking. So when you say Thursday EOD, you are committing to a firm update by 5 p.m. on Thursday.
That's super practical to know. And notice how the good version gave the status immediately. We're at risk for Friday.
It's status first.
It gave a precise signal. The config mismatch cost us a day and a half, but migration is done.
Signal second.
And it gave the next, I'll have a firm update by Thursday EOD. It's just brilliant.
It's flawless. Let's look at scenario B.
All right, what's the situation?
The situation is that you shipped a feature on time, but it contains technical debt.
Oh, this happens constantly. Here's the bad version that raises unnecessary questions.
Go for it.
We shipped it, but there are some things we still need to fix. It's not perfect. We knew there would be some trade-offs.
Again, very weak.
Very.
And here's a good version using the framework. Shipped on time. We deferred error handling on the edge cases to keep the date. I've filed the tickets, and they're in the next sprint. Let me know if you want me to walk you through the trade-off.
Wow, that projects so much control. Let's look at the technical vocabulary there. We've got technical debt, deferred error handling, and edge cases.
Right. So technical debt happens when a development team chooses a fast, imperfect solution to meet a deadline, knowing they will have to go back and fix the code later.
Like borrowing time from the future.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
exactly like taking a financial loan that you must pay back with interest.
Okay. And deferred error handling.
Deferred error handling is a specific type of technical debt. It means you decided not to write the code that manages system errors right now. You deferred it, meaning you consciously postponed it to a future date.
Got it. And they mentioned this happened on the edge cases.
Right. Edge cases are rare, unusual situations in the software that only happen under extreme or highly unlikely operating parameters.
Can you give an example?
Sure. For example, if a user tries to upload a profile picture that is exactly 0 bytes large,
Oh, I see.
it almost never happens, so it's considered an edge case.
Okay. And finally, there was the idiom, walk you through.
To walk someone through something means to explain it to them, step by step, very carefully and methodically.
Right.
If you say, I can walk you through the trade-off, you are offering to schedule a meeting to explain the difficult technical decision you made, step by step, so they fully understand it.
Thank you. Looking at that good example, the manager knows exactly what was shipped, what wasn't, and when it will be fixed.
Exactly.
Let's do one more. Scenario C.
Okay, scenario C. This is just a routine update. Everything is fine.
Nice and easy. Here is the bad, unnecessarily long version.
Let's hear it.
So we had a good week. The team is working well. We finished the auth flow. There were some small issues, but we handled them. And we're planning to start the next feature on Monday.
Way too much fluff. Here is the good, compact version.
Okay.
Auth flow is done. Starting payment integration Monday. No blockers.
In that last example, they're really cutting to the chase, which means getting straight to the most important point without wasting any time on small details.
Exactly.
It's 3 sentences. It takes maybe 5 seconds.
And that length is the most important actionable takeaway from this entire scenario.
5 seconds.
A 5-second routine update proves you respect your manager's time.
That makes total sense.
You aren't asking them to validate your hard work by forcing them to listen to a long story about how you handled small issues.
Right. They don't need a therapy session.
You're just giving them the pure data they need to run the business. This lowers their stress, and ironically, it makes them trust your engineering skills even more.
We have covered a lot of ground today, analyzing the exact syntax and psychology of a perfect update.
We really have.
Let's wrap up with a summary of the key takeaways so you can apply this today in your own daily stand-ups and one-on-ones.
That's good.
The absolute biggest mindset shift is dropping the cultural instinct to explain the why before the what.
Exactly. You must adopt the 3-step framework status. Signal. Next.
Keep it concise.
Keep your updates relentlessly concise. Eliminate hedging words like maybe or I think entirely from your professional vocabulary when you have the actual data.
Yes, eliminate those completely.
And always project control by telling them the next steps, even if the next step is just you continuing to monitor the situation.
And remember that superpower phrase, no action needed from you, I'll keep you posted.
It's so powerful.
It shifts you from being an employee reporting a problem to a leader actively managing a situation.
I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to mull over.
Oh, I love these.
We spent this entire deep dive talking about verbal and written status updates directed upward to your American manager.
Right.
But think about how universal this concept is across all engineering communication.
Okay.
If mastering this concise, status-first communication completely changes how your manager perceives your competence in leadership, how might applying this exact same signal over context philosophy change how you write your pull request descriptions?
Oh, wow.
Or how might it change how you conduct code reviews with your own junior developers?
That is an excellent point. Leading with the status and clearly stating the signal makes every technical interaction more efficient, whether you're talking to a VP or a junior engineer.
Absolutely.
You're already an elite engineer. Your technical skills are proven. Now, by using this framework and understanding the psychology behind it, your English communication will reflect that exact same level of mastery and precision.
Well said.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep building great things, and we'll catch you next time.
That's a wrap. If this breakdown helped, hit subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss a lesson. Keep learning, and we'll see you next time.